Greetings, viewers. Thanks for joining me today. Now, it is crazy hot out. So I'm going to go over this, and then I'm going to turn my fan on, and then I'm going to go install it. You remember when I put the 4.8 LS motor and the 4L60E transmission in? I used my 700R4 shift lever and linkage and made it work, and it works fine. Now, on that vehicle, you had to push a button on the shift lever for it to go out of overdrive and stay in drive. Okay, it was the overdrive delete button, and I don't have that now. This is the GM fourth gear lockout, part number 280. This is Shift Technology Products. Get that information off the box. They did not pay for this. I did. They don't support me. I do. But if you used your 700R4 linkage, you don't have a way to lock out overdrive when you're towing. Though that other vehicle had a taller gear, numerically higher, which means lower. So mine's got 308s. When I'm towing and it shifts into overdrive at 65 mile an hour, it's literally 1680 RPMs and the engine is lugging. So I need to turn off overdrive, all right? That explanation was necessary for you to understand why I'm installing this. I tow with this truck. I use this. This is my daily driver, my grocery getter, my work truck, my tow truck, my parts chaser, etc. I have to be able to shut it off, all right? I have the part here to wire it into out on the bench. I'm going to show you. It comes with wires long enough to mount it on your dash. It comes with the on-off switch and a plaque. I'll show you all that. And it comes with detailed instructions. Now I'm going to go over how this installs with this so you can see it. And then I'll get under the truck and show you. This video shouldn't be too long. This vehicle is equipped with the fourth gear lockout system. Now, like I say, the truck this shit came out of had a button on the dash, or on the shift lever, you know, that said OD off. This don't have one. This is how you get around that if you need it. Now, if you don't need it, then you don't need it. But if you're towing, man, when I was towing my Tundra for wheelin this last weekend, anyway, it was crazy. It kept shifting into overdrive when I didn't want it. So now I'm going to go over this here on this and show you per instructions how it lines up. Then we're going to get under the truck, and then this video will be done. Thank you for watching. Okay, now if you jump straight into these instructions, if you have an early 4L80, look at that one. I don't have that. I have all 4L60s and late 4L80s. Okay, you look at your button, your connector that goes to the top of your transmission, which is this one right here. In your diagram, it shows the notch. There's the notch. Whoops, there's the notch. So it goes this way. Now, to prove it goes this way, it says A, B, C, D across the top. Can you see that? Say A, B, C, D? Yes. It says TUV across the bottom. Might not be able to see that as well, but TUV or TUY across the bottom. All right, so now you know you have that button and those wires. You need P and R. All right, wipe off a little more dirt. See P and R, it is red. P is red. Whoops, P is red. If your P is red, go see a doctor. But P wire, that's one of them you need. R wire, that's the blue one. Okay, P and R, you know how to find them. All right, now that's a solid red and a solid green. All I did was pick them out there. You can still see P and R if you look. Okay, now when I go underneath my vehicle that has the same harness and all that on it, I'm going to find those two wires. When I get there, just like this says, you'll take your P wire, you'll use a tap connector that came with it that goes to the black. You see that? And you'll take your R wire, which is green. You're going to tie into your red with the solderless connector it gives you. And then you're going to tie back into the other side with your white on the, then it gives you a connector. Okay, you see that's basic instructions. Jump into this one, cut this one, tie in, and come back to it. Okay, super easy. Then you just zip tie them off and go to your little switch. Now let's open the bag of goodies. All right, it gives you some zip ties. See, this is your switch. You'll tie the red one into your R. You'll tie the white one into the other side of your R. So the green wire, you'll just cut it and you'll tie red. Oops, sorry, it's out of these two. Red and white. Go to your R, black goes to your P wire. And then on your switch, this one goes to power. We'll get to that. Step 4, it gives you the doohickeys to wire into a hot spade terminal on your fuse box. Again, I'm going to show you this stuff, but it's going to be pretty silent because I'm going to turn my fan back on. So I'm going to jump wires. I'm going to tie into one wire. Okay, I've gone over this enough already. And then get power out of my fuse block. So hold tight. All right, one more time for those of you in the cheap seats. And I turned the fan back on. I can't take it anymore. Here's your little overdrive on, overdrive off switch plate cover that goes in your dash and your little switch. You got one red wire comes off of that here. That goes to any fuse that is hot with key on. Tells you that right here, fuse side. It gives you a little spade connector, depending on what size fuses you have, to hook that up to. Okay, so you got that. Up here, these wires down here, that you can run all the way to your transmission, or you can go to the computer if you trust yourself that much. Red, this red, goes to the R wire, which was green. The white, this white, goes to the other side of the R wire after you cut it in half. It gives you those two purple connectors. P wire, use your black. This one, use that blue connector. You'll go into your P wire, which is red. Right? We dug them out. Red and green. Now, I, of course, confirm those when I get down there. But that's how we're going to hook all this up. I'm going to put the camera down there. I'm going to have it running. This video's going on pretty long already. And this is such a simple process. I'm going to go shove wires through the dash and stuff and come back and meet you. All right, now moving to the interior. I put this overdrive normal, overdrive cancel switch in one of these little plugs that comes out. If you look back in there, you can see where my light is. I shoved this piece of mechanics wire in towards the light. See it coming out the bottom now? You just follow that. Now I'll tie my wires to this and I'll pull them through. I'll tie both wires, my red that goes to the fuse block and my whole line of wires. Of course, I'll tie them at different places. I'll just wrap this one around and tape it to this one. You know what I'm saying? Kind of wrap them up like this around your wire. You can tape them if you feel like you need to. Then I'll probably tape this one to that one. Or just wrap it around real tight, you know, and pull it tight and then yank them through there. Hang on. All right, now you can see I started pulling my wire through. There's the first one I wrapped. Keep pulling it from under. There, it's already out. Now my twisted up red part's coming through. Just give it a quick yank, pull it. Oh, the box. Ooh, did it come through? No, it didn't yet. Will it? Let's see. Nope, I gotta tape that. You didn't even get to see that. All right, there. Yeah, it just pushed it right up. Let me tape it. All right, now you can see where I taped it to it so it won't pull it up like it did before. Let's pull that the rest of the way in. Try to shove some of that in there. Get to the point where that box wants to go. There comes my red wire. Now my box can go in. My little clippy piece can go in. And now I've got my switch mounted. I got my power wire that goes to the fuse box right over there. I'm going to send this through the hole in the firewall and then go down to the transmission and wire these in. Man, I picked a hot day to do this. Just hang on. Okay, under here, remember our big hole in the floor where we brought our oil gauge and all of our wires through? That's where we're shoving this wire through from up here. Down here, here's the red one that goes to this fuse box. We'll get that. But otherwise, I'm through the floor, through the firewall in gray. Yeah, the big gray one right there. See it heading towards the passenger side? All right, you probably can't see it now, but it is back there running down passenger side of the transmixer by the exhaust. That's where I'll grab it when I get underneath and show you some more. We're going to wire up like this to our P and R wire. Oops, sorry, the light pulses are different. So we're going to wire up to these. We're going to go black to red, and we're going to go red to green and white to green. I don't know why it doesn't go red to red and black to green, but it doesn't. So hold tight. Okay, I brought this down. Red and green. Up here, they're red and blue. All right, I'm going to undo a little tape. I'm going to jump into this red and blue like it says in the instructions for the red and green, so hang on. Okay, now this red and blue are the correct two wires right above the two empty holes. Right above the two empty holes, there'd be two empty holes for red and green, but they're red and blue on my aftermarket harness, so we're going to use them. I'm going to splice into, jump into the red one where it says tap connector here. That'll be my red. And then I'm going to go red to blue and white to blue when I cut it and splice together. So hold on, let me do that. I can't show you and hold the camera, sorry, but you'll see it. In this case, R, which is blue, gets cut. I'll strip both ends. Now you can see I crimped one of these little new gel connectors onto each side of blue here. All right, now you'll take your white and red. Whoops, let's grab them. White and red on your switch wire that came down. You'll put the red to closest to the switch on your blue wire, or your R, or your R wire, and white away from your switch. Okay, so this white one will go to up there, and the red one will go to right here on the blue, on the switch side or the plug side. Okay. Okay, so now the R wire, letter R is blue. It goes to the red on your switch. That's your switch wire. And the computer in goes to blue. Plug in red, white goes to computer in. That's your blue wire or the R wire. Okay, you seeing all that? I hope so. All right, the P wire, which is red, goes to black. They give you a shitty clamp for that. I'm not going to use it. Okay, you see I've got the R wire, red and white. Okay, I just snipped it and clipped it to red and white. Those are little gel connectors. I want to see how they work. Okay, hang on, let me get your black to red. Okay, on the red to black connector, now I've cut the red wire. I'm going to tie my black to red and black to red in a solderless connector. Hold on, let me do that. Okay, for synopsis, red to blue, white to blue. And then the black one goes to the red one. See how I got the red one coming out and in and the black one tied in? I used a solderless connector because I liked it better. Make sure you plug this plug back in correctly. Look for the tab. It goes to the front. All right, you can kind of see it all up there. The switch is now in. I'm going to go up into the cab and do the final wiring, but everything's out of the way of exhaust. We've got white and red to the blue or the R wire, and then we have tied in our black to the P wire or the red wire in this situation. Okay, power to your switch here needs to go to 10 or 15 amp hot. It can be key on like this one. That's four-wheel drive. I don't have four-wheel drive. We turn the key on. Hang on. Turn the key on. Okay, there we go. Turn the key on. And we are now hot on this switch, four-wheel drive. So I will put this little doohickey on the fuse, this little crimper on that red wire, and route it up to here. Hang on. All right, now this fuse. All right, I'm going to try to rest the phone here and let you see this. This little brass thing they give you. See how it clips on the fuse? Right there. And it's clipped on and it goes around that fuse, okay? I'm going to line that up. This is that 15 amp four-wheel drive fuse that we don't use. And I'm going to shove it back in the panel. Just like that. I know you didn't get to watch, but I can't hold the phone at both times. All right, so my red wire, I shoved it up through this hole back here. Okay, now this red wire goes on to that little piece of the fuse right there that we just clipped that on. You see how that works? These things are pretty freaking neat. That's good and on there. All right, now I have power to my switch. I have my switch run through the firewall. You saw how I wired it up down there. I'm sorry, but we can't take a road trip right now. But that gives it power there. That gives it a place to live there. It runs through the firewall and goes down, ties into the transmission just like we did. You get it? I hope so, because I don't think I can make it any more clear than that. sorry I can't go for a drive right now and make sure it works. And so we have power to switch. We have switch to transmission. We have overdrive on and off now. Next time I go for a ride, you'll get to see it. That's how you do with Save Your 700 R4 stuff. Still get overdrive off for when you're towing. I'll tell you about it. Hey, I appreciate you watching. I do. Have a super great day. Seriously.